Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jo and this is Joey Sewy, where I talk about sewing, creativity, knitting and life, not necessarily in that order. Today we have got a what have I been sewing in May video. So I probably could make this quite a short video and go nothing. It's not actually quite true, but last month I subtitled my video and why I haven't finished anything. Now I have finished things this month, and actually it's really a month of two halves. We had amazing weather for a lot of May in the north of England, which is unusual. 2 half days it rained, and the rest of the month the weather was utterly glorious. So I've basically just been outside, and my sewing machine's cable doesn't stretch that far. And I've been gardening and also been decorating a bedroom. So there's going to be a subsequent video that says what have I been doing when I haven't been sewing in May, because I've got lots of things to tell you about and I've had feedback that you like that, so that's what I'm going to do. We're going to stick to what have I been sewing, and in this video we're going to get the big reveal of the prom dress that I was sewing. But I'll start with the more mundane things. So this fella here, I think she's a she actually, my blouse, she's not finished yet. I managed to do one little process on her all month, and I think it was sewing. So it's a blouse, it has cuffs. I've lost the cuff piece now, so she's been hanging around so long that I don't know where that pattern piece has gone. I've looked in a lot of places. Luckily I do have some fabric left, but I'm going to have to cut it out again. So the little, I'll show you. Here you go. It's a sleeve, and all I managed to get done all month wasn't even sewing these on. I forget what it's called. It's the binding that goes around the sleeve vent. Okay, so that's the bottom of the sleeve, and eventually they'll be sewn together and there'll be a cuff here. All I did, just sit down because this is ridiculous, is hand sew. It's probably not going to focus, but that tiny little bit of hand sewing, that's what I did in a month on this project. 2 of them. I did 2 because I did both sleeves, but that was it. Yeah, hope you're impressed. And all the rest of the sewing I've done has been for other people. So there's super exciting things I have done. I mended a pair of trousers for Felix, but I did do it with free motion embroidery, so I'm going to share that with you in a couple of videos time. And I made some curtains. I think the sewing community is divided on whether they'll even agree to sew curtains. Personally, I go to the shops and look at how much curtains cost and definitely decide I'm sewing curtains. I'm going to show you, because it's the principle of the thing, I'll show you what I've made, don't I, in these videos. So, it's exciting, isn't it? Oh, hair's gone mad. Basically we have some glazed doors with glass in, that lead to our living room, double doors, but also in that room, let me just put that down, in that room is our sofa bed, so when people come to stay they sleep in the living room, and at this time of year the daylight lasts a long time, and so it gets too light, or at least I felt I wanted to give our guests a bit more darkness, so I sewed 2 curtains. The simplest thing ever, rectangles the size of the doors, channel at the top, channel at the bottom, put a rod in, so I might as well tell you, seeing as this is pretty much all I've got to show for it. So this is some rod, I think it's made out of fiberglass because it does give off some weird fibres when you cut it, which you have to cut with a hacksaw. It's spare stuff I had out of a Roman blind kit, so it's quite flexible, it's lightweight but it's strong. So there's a bit of this in the top of each one, so that's 2 of those. In the bottom I put elastic, and I happen to have buttonhole elastic from way back when I thought I was going to sew some adjustable trousers for my children. I haven't ever done that, so I've got 50 metres of buttonhole elastic that has never been used, so I use it up here and there. And then at the bottom of the door I put a hook, tiny little metal hook at the bottom corner of each door, so I can stretch the fabric tight. So at the top there's 2 hooks at the bar sits on, and at the bottom there are 2 hooks that the elastic stretches down to, and that keeps the fabric nice and tight. So yeah, nobody's going to be wearing this, but it was functional and it worked, so that was exciting. So I mended some trousers, I made some curtains, I did a tiny thing on that, but I did do something big and impressive at the start of May. I finished the prom dress I was making for my friend Chloe. And I'm going to show you some pictures. I'm finally going to show you some pictures. I'm so excited about this. She looked beautiful, and even more importantly for me, she looked so happy. It was just, oh gosh, I felt a bit like her mum, and I am, yeah, I'm old enough to be her mum, which depressed me a lot. But when I got over that, I was just extremely happy. So here are pictures of Chloe. She's doing a twirl. I have 2 pictures that she sent me of her doing a twirl, and I also have a couple of pictures of her with her boyfriend Fran, because he did feature in the sewing because I made his tie. So I've never ever made a tie before, but I'm the kind of daft person that when someone says, can you make a, I go, yeah, sure, I can make a thing. So I said yes, I can make a tie, and actually it's not that difficult, especially not if you like hand sewing. As we established in the last video, I'm fine with hand sewing. So yeah, I made a tie and I was so impressed. I was more impressed at myself that I'd made a tie than I'd made a whole prom dress, probably because I've made that kind of dress probably, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 times before, but I'd never made a tie. So that was what impressed me, was that I made a man's tie. And I also, because at this point sewing delirium had taken over, I also said, we should make a bag. She didn't even ask for a bag. I suggested, we should make a bag. Of course we should, because with a day to go before a prom, I've got plenty of time. It wasn't quite that much, but yeah. I suggested it because there was this big moon print on the fabric that we just hadn't found a way to incorporate anywhere in the garment. So I had lots of the fabric left over with this big moon from the painting, and I had a pattern for a circular bag, and it just, you know, the 2 of them were screaming out to go together. So that's what I did. I made a circular bag. I'm going to have to zoom in on the photos to show you, so if it's grainy, I'm really sorry, but that's what else I made. I want to show you a few of the details of the dress that I haven't had a chance to show you before. So here's some close-up shots of it on the hanger. The scale of the print is different on the top to on the bottom, although it's the same print. And you can see that the hem is quite bouncy and curvy, and that's because of the horsehair braid in it. And there you can see some of where the pattern joins, and when I drop it back you can see how curvy the hem remains. Looking inside, you can see the waistband facing, which I'll show you in more detail in a moment, and you can see the invisible zip, and you can see, or rather you can't see very well, the French seams which enclose all the raw edges of the seams in the skirt. And then as we pan down, you can see that's what the horsehair braid looks like. Here's the back of the dress. You can see the lining on the inside, so that's blue silk lining, which I think looks amazing, even though no one sees it except for the person wearing it, but that's still important. And you can see how low down the back comes. You can see the invisible zip and the join of the seam lines across the waistband, which I was quite pleased with. And then again, you can see the curve and the bounce of the hemline. So there were a couple of things I didn't show you about the finished dress, other than the finished dress, which is marvellous. I didn't show you the inside because I did a sneaky little thing inside, which was on the waistband. I did a bit of free motion embroidery that said beautiful on the inside, because I really liked working with Chloe. She's just a lovely, creative, pure-hearted, intelligent young woman, and it was pushing all my buttons about me not being that age anymore, and she's just about to go off to university and be in the world, and yeah, it made me very emotional. And to be part of her prom was really special for me. So on the inside I put a little secret message. I didn't tell her I was going to do it, and I didn't show her when I handed the dress over, so she only found it when she put it on for the first time on the day of the prom, which I also loved. so I can show you the video of the inside of the dress, because of course a handmade dress is all about the inside as much as it is about the outside. To do this free motion embroidery, I basically wrote on in chalk pen and then traced over with my needle. As I said, I'm going to do a brief video on free motion embroidery soon, so you can tune in to see how that's done there. So that's the video, guys. That is what I sewed in May. Pretty much all of that was done on May the 1st to the 5th, and then I lay down in a darkened room for the rest of the month. Actually, I didn't, did I? I laid down in the sunshine, except I didn't do any lying down. As I said, I have been doing loads of other things, and seeing as I've had the feedback that you're interested, I am going to show you the loads of other things. We have a massive house renovation project. We're building a garden. I've been decorating bedrooms, so it's all interior decoration and house renovation type stuff coming up. If you don't like that kind of video, it will be clearly titled. You can ignore it, and if you do, then you can look forward to it. I really appreciate you being there, and especially appreciate you being there when I've had a couple of weeks of break, because life was just not lining up for me to film videos. What can you do? It's real life. So if you want to see any more videos on my channel, you will be able to click here and here and here, and if you want to subscribe, you can click here. I would love it if you would do any of those things, and I just love it that you're there. Bye for now.